All right, let's get into this, folks. Justin King, our favorite anarchist, is about to give us some real 3D chess cope type talk here because Kamala Harris was chosen as the vice presidential candidate or with Joe Biden. My goodness, yes. Okay. Oh, boy. I got to listen to this cope because this is a hell of a lot of cope, man. All right, let me tell you that right now. This is some heavy doses of coke right now. Okay, there we go. These are some heavy, heavy doses of coke going on. We got to hear this. I got to hear this because this is some straight cope right now. This is straight cope. All right, let's do this. All right, let's do it. Oh, yeah, big screen. Big screen. Big screen. Oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go.
Well, howdy there. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about the Biden campaign because that's a thing. It's official. We're going to talk about why that announcement seemed to throw a wall up between two groups of people who seem most likely to back a Democratic ticket.
That's funny that he goes behind his weird wall.
You probably saw a lot of people who were unhappy. We're going to explain why that is. We're going to explain that wasn't a surprise to the Democratic Party. It's part of the strategy. They're counting on that. We're going to talk about what a Biden-Harris campaign and possible presidency would mean to us.
Not much.
We're going to talk to those people who are, let's just say, less than enthusiastic about the Biden-Harris ticket.
This is cope. Hold on. Let's listen to this. Hold on. I'll show you.
The Democratic Party is really made up of two groups of people. Okay. The first are liberals. Liberals are center-right.
Yeah, we know this.
Real scale, they're center-right. I know in the U.S. they're the left, but they're center-right.
No, they aren't the left, not even in the United States.
There's a small fraction of the Democratic Party or people who vote Democrat.
Don't tell any Marxist-Leninists that or say that, that liberals are part of the left. You've already failed, my friend. I know that you, once again, I realize that you are an anarchist, sir. But yeah, come on. This is okay. Let's hear more.
Who are actual leftists cross over into that territory. The Democratic Party has decided to forego those votes. We don't need the leftist vote.
We don't need them.
We're going to try to pull votes from the center. We're going to go for moderates.
Ooh.
The idea is that they can pull more votes from there and that these are people who may vote for Trump.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, with StreamYard, when you're reacting to a video, you can only go to 84 in terms of volume now. I realized that yesterday when I was streaming yesterday, and I guess that's the way now. I'm like, God dang. So apologies. If it's too quiet, I'm sorry. Just for those that see this in the future, because I'm going to download this and put it on the other channel. But yeah, I mean, he's trying so hard to make this sound like a good thing. And a lot of folks are just saying, bruh, this is not a good thing. Okay? This is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I can't think of the reference there, but there's a reference somewhere in there. Okay, go ahead.
If they don't vote for the Democratic candidate. So they're trying to get votes and deny votes to Trump at the same time. That's the goal. The overall strategy
And that's some big brain thinking right there. That is some big brain Wojak thinking. It's like, oh, well, we're going to get these centrists instead because of all the crazy lefties. Are you serious? Come on, go ahead.
Is basically they want to shore up their supporters. And who are the most loyal voters for the Democratic Party? Black women. Harris certainly appeals. However, I don't think it's fair to say that's the only reason she was chosen. Because
are you kidding? Did you say black women and they chose Kamala Harris? I will wait to hear all the critique, the right critique against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I'd love to hear it. I know I'm not going to, probably. Look, I mean, this is some serious coping. This goes to show, once again, this guy is supposed to be an anarchist. Somebody who's from the far left. And he's carrying water because he just wants to get rid of Trump. This is what happens when you get so blinded and you have surrendered so much that you're just like, I'd rather carry water for Biden because he's slightly better. Are you absolute pussy? Go ahead.
She brings something that's huge to the campaign because of the strategy. They're not going to try to defeat Trump on policy. Why? Because Trump doesn't even know what policy is. He doesn't have one. Even if he had one, he wouldn't stick to it. He would just lie and change it. That's a losing campaign.
Yeah.
They're going to try to beat him on Twitter. They're going to try to beat him on the personal attack level. Trump has two main lines of attack right
now. I'm really trying to wrap my head around the idea that it's like, well, they're going to try to beat him on personal attacks. They're going to be attacking Kamala Harris incessantly and Joe Biden incessantly. All right. All I have to do is take a look at Joe Biden's YouTube channel and see the comments turned off, and the ratings will still be on there. But it's like personal attacks. These motherfuckers can't take that. Neither one of them. Are you? What world do you live in? I know that's the strategy, but that is some there's some really big brain nibba thinking here. This is some really riding an elephant, which is your brain Wojak type thinking. This is some crazy shit. Go ahead.
They're radical leftists and law and order. Neither Biden or Harris is a radical leftist. They're not even moderate. They're not even leftists.
Yeah.
They're liberals. The running joke in leftist circles right now is that this is one heck of a Republican ticket.
Yeah.
This campaign will get active opposition from leftists.
Yeah.
And they're counting on that. Because if they're getting opposition from the actual leftists, well, then those in the center are going to see that they're not leftists. Law and order. There is nobody on the American political stage more law and order than Harris. Locking people up, that's like her thing.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to hold a candle to her in this regard. He's not going to be able to use that line of attack. And then if he tries to paint her as a leftist or anything
is that really a good thing? I'm sorry. Is that really a selling point? It's like, she's locked up more people than. Wow. I mean, this stinks of desperation. This really does. This smells of desperation now, where it's just like, yeah, she's locked up more people than anyone else. So Trump can't use that sort of attack. This is this is pitiful. I'm sorry, I just woke up, so I'm trying to get it all coughed out and everything. But my God, what are you doing? Are you serious? Are you serious? I can't. Okay, go ahead. Golly.
That he has to explain why he donated to her twice and Ivanka once. This is they're trying to beat him at his own game. They're trying to show how little substance he has. And then they're trying to bait him. Trump is famous for attacking women in incredibly sexist ways. But Harris isn't Clinton. Clinton was generally disliked by a whole lot of people.
What? What? Are you gonna... Hold on. All right, everybody. Let's continue this.
Harris is disliked by leftists. If he comes at her...
You're just going to say Harris is hated by leftists? If what you're saying is true, the Democrats are really hoping that the centrist vote is going to be the majority here. Like I say, I'm not a big brain nibba, but it's like this sounds like a very big gamble. This is like a bigger gamble than the Ardennes offensive right now. This is some really big gamble shit. Are you serious? Okay, go ahead.
The same way he comes at a lot of women politicians, he might upset women voters, specifically those in the suburbs, those that he has to get to win. That's their plan. It's cynical, it's superficial, it is lacking in substance, and it will probably work.
It didn't really work when he was talking about... You're not going to bring up when he was getting at Megyn Kelly. You're not going to bring that up. You're not going to bring up, what he said about John McCain or anything else like that. You're not going to do that. It's probably going to work. I don't know about that. Especially folks out in California who have people locked up because of her. I don't know about that. I don't know. That's kind of... Once again, this is some real cope hours right here. This is some real cope right now. It's like, once again, nobody is really surprised because everyone kind of figured it was going to be Kamala Harris, but now it's just, this is, oh boy. Go ahead.
So, if you are a liberal, if you are a Democratic Party loyalist, you've got a ticket that might win. However, if you're watching this channel, I have to assume that you want systemic change. Otherwise, you want real change. You are not going to get that from Biden-Harris. They are as establishment, as status quo as they...
The cringe is too strong. I keep coughing. The cringe is too strong.
If you want to use the political system to do it, you had better be looking at the races down ballot. If you don't stack the House and the Senate with AOC types, you are going to get a kindler...
AOC, I'm going to say this for like the 20th time, but I'll say this once again. She's now good friends with Pelosi, at least according to radical folks, were just goobers like Jimmy Dore, It's like, are you serious right now? Is it, oh, you better hope that we get more we better hope that we get more progressives in there and whatnot. People like, what's her name, Ryan, who just got voted in, or better keep on, Rashida Tlaib and all this. Better hope the squad can help us. God, this is pitiful. This is pitiful.
Gentler face on a whole lot of the exact same policies. Some of the more horrendous stuff will disappear, but overall, not much is going to change.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
You have to have those radical people willing to make those changes.
Radical people.
In the House and the Senate. So they can.
Radical people like AOC who voted for a military extension bill just to prevent a... I mean, look, the thing is, it's like, don't get me wrong. Conservatives are retarded. That's true. And the fact is that the dude who decided to make comments about AOC and say she was bad and mean mugging her and all this talking shit right in front of her, it's like, okay, yeah, he was an idiot. But it's like, are you... it's going to be funny when these folks turn into the very folks that they claim to hate. Maybe not to the same degree. Huh? You talking to me? Yes. What? Hold on, then. God dang it. All right, let's continue here in a moment. All right. Okay. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Okay.
Can propose them and get the support to make it politically untenable for Biden to say no. Okay. So, those who's less than enthusiastic about this ticket, let me start by saying, I feel you. This is not my dream ticket. Okay.
He always does that. The goofy laugh, the nervous laugh. Okay, go ahead.
There are three schools of thought right now among leftists. The first is not going to vote.
Yep.
Some out of just spite.
Yeah.
Some because they have a moral
Based
to voting. They don't want to use the power of the state.
Yeah. There you go.
Their neighbor.
Yeah.
Got it. You have to vote your conscience or not vote your conscience. I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that want to vote third party. Again, you have to vote your conscience. If you cannot get behind Harris because of some of the authoritarian background that she has, I understand that. I do, really. And then the third is to
revolution, baby.
Grit your teeth and vote Biden Harris. And do it with the understanding that either way, next year you're going to be opposing the administration. No matter what, you might as well oppose the one that's going to give you the most freedom of movement. And that it's going to be easier to oppose Biden Harris than it is Trump Pence. There is a subset of people who believe that the right answer is to back Trump, because
accelerationism gang, baby.
Keep people motivated and speaking out.
Nick Land gang, baby. Nick Land gang, baby.
I would suggest that's a bad idea. I don't think that that's actually helpful. I understand the logic. I just don't know that I would be willing to do that. I want to add something else that I think people should consider. I think it's incredibly important that Trump lose. I'm not saying that it's got to be Biden and Harris. Okay. I don't care if they.
If you actually want to lie to yourself, pretend that a libertarian is going to take over the United States, you must be smoking that good that only libertarians can get.
Win. But it's incredible that Trump lose. I said this during the impeachment. I wasn't really that upset when he wasn't convicted and removed, because I think it's incredibly important for those people who he marginalized, that he pushed down, for them to see their neighbors rejected. Him suffering a resounding defeat will help make sure there's not another one.
Not necessarily, no. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That could just mean that you're going to have somebody even more mask off who wants separatism and all this other type shit. So, no, that's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You know, you're going to have... the thing is, the Wignats, to a point, are salivating right now saying, yes, yes. I mean, once Trump loses, then they hope to gain some more converts from the Boomerwaffen. You know, they've already gained a few from the Boomerwaffen, with the Patriot Front business, with the with Thomas Rousseau getting arrested down in Weatherford, Texas. Now, of course, that was temporary, and he was released, within 48 hours, but still, that was a boon for them. So, realistically, when people like Trump, are voted out, and, the thing is, once again, we have this atmosphere that was, 2015 era type of, Operation Jade Hunt. Get the hell off here. God damn it. All right. I don't care if my license... Get off. Get out of here. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Golly. Okay. Of course, now everything goes back to... Okay. Look at him just staring at the camera. Look at that. Dead eyes. Dead eyes like a shock. Okay.
If his rhetoric proves to be failing rhetoric, that it can't get a re-election, they're not going to try to use that again. That message.
Oh my god, this is cope. This is really cope right here. This is cope. He's just like, well, I hear you, but this is cope. I mean, at this point, go ahead. I mean, at this point, who gives a fuck? I'll probably, have to vote because mom and dad will drag me to the, voting booth or something, because they're like, well, you have to vote too. And I'll stand in line for a couple hours because I know I'll probably be in the mall and just waiting there. See the same old fogies that are usually behind the counter. And I'll just do my voting and whatever, I'm not going to tell you my choices. I've kind of gone back and forth, but really, so what, Oh, ridiculousness. Okay, go ahead.
Important. Again, I'm not saying to vote for any particular candidate.
Yeah.
I just think it's
Neither am I.
incredibly important that Trump lose, that message is sent, that the United States has moved past this. This is not how you make America great. It wasn't great when these were the...
Let me tell you something. Voting him out is not going to get rid of all that feeling out there, That feeling is very strong and palpable. The thing is that feeling is very palpable. And now Everyone is still in the culture war, the Kulturkampf, and all that business. People are still talking about that shit. And this fool thinks that just voting him out. See, once again, this is why he's very sus. He's very sus, homie. This dude is very sus. I mean, this dude claimed to be an anarchist, and yet he's pushing this sort of, milk toast sort of idea. Well, it's like, well, if we just if we just vote him out, then, it'll deter other, the future folks from wanting to attempt this. Not necessarily. Wait until Joe Biden gets into office. This is the whole pendulum shit that the United States goes through. It's a very fickle pendulum where it's just like, we're going to have somebody that, claims to try to be more conservative, this and that, and try to, take America back the way it was. Now we're going to be progressive, and now we're going to do this. That's the pendulum swinging. That's the whole, that's the thing is they used to have, the four balls there on the string, click, 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 click. That's what it is. It's just the pendulum swinging back and forth. I really don't get this whole nonsense where it's just like, oh, well, we're going to get rid of it. We're going to, deter people from doing that. Maybe until shit gets worse, which is right around the corner. It is. It's going to get worse in some way. Whether that's people being kicked out of their homes. You think that Joe Biden is going to do anything about that? Hell no. You think that Kamala Harris is going to do anything about that? Hell no. She's just going to put people in jail. Or at least that's the assumption. So, yeah, this is just bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. Go ahead.
Policies the first time, we don't need to try them again. This rhetoric is failing. I think
this is cope. This rhetoric is failing. Yeah, kind of like the rhetoric of Chaz failed miserably. That
message needs to be sent. Okay. So, what does this mean for everybody watching this channel? All the stuff we talk about is more important than ever. When we're talking about individual action, building community networks, stuff like that. If you're on the left, if you're actually one of the leftists, you already know this. Top-down leadership doesn't work. I don't know why y'all get mad. This happens every time.
Okay, now he's trying to be an anarchist. See, look, once again, I will give him this. I will say, don't hate the player, hate the game in this way. He's not one to, he's able to talk about each specific audience he has. He's talking to his shitlib audience. He's talking to his centrist audience. He's talking to his more leftist audience. Now he's talking to his leftist audience even more. And of course, now he's trying to say, oh, well, top-down leadership doesn't work. The whole strongman thing doesn't work that well. Go ahead.
You're not, it's very unlikely that you're going to get somebody in the White House that is going to promote these ideas. The amount of money that it takes to get there.
And yet you don't want a revolution either, though. You have said that as well. So what are you talking about, pussy?
To corruption. It leads to accepting those ideas.
Oh boy, this is okay. So this is now we see him, going full on with the anarchist sort of rhetoric, where it's like, well, we need to have horizontal leadership versus hierarchical, horizontal leadership and not vertical leadership and all the, oh Lord have mercy. You know what? We know that those things don't really work out that well either. But if there's one man who's going to step up and who's going to say, yeah, you're going to do that, guess what? Why not both, as the meme goes, right? You can have vertical and horizontal leadership. Go ahead.
That capitalism, that this system is the way to go. If you want something else, you're going to have to build it. And if you are a liberal, understand the reforms you want made, they're not going to happen.
He's right. He's right on that point. What I would say though is, once again, is he, the thing is, this is something that that the right wing has been saying, and once again, I know that the right gets so misaligned. It's like, oh, well, these right wing libertarians are these the far right evangelicals. I was reading Gray Zone, and it's just like, I can agree with their rhetoric to a point, but I still think that they're full of shit. Especially when they'll say, oh, there's nothing going on in China, Xinjiang, but yet won't say a damn word about China doing business with Israel and simultaneously trying to do business with Iran. But that's them. I'm sorry, I just want to get off that talking point for a moment. But it's like, the whole thing is, oh, why don't you start your own network? Why don't you start your own this and that? It's like, right-wing niggas been trying that. Right-wing niggas been trying to start, parallel, superstructures and all this type of thing. But it's like, they keep getting taken down by feds and shit like that. And guess what? Your parallel structures are going to be infiltrated by feds too. People just, it's ridiculous to me. It really is. But once again, people like Jared Holt and, and people like, Becca Lewis and all this. And of course, people like, people like Emily Korchinski, who think that they are, who in their minds, actually, Jared Holt, I think he's more of a liberal, so I'll cut him out. But people like Becca Lewis, who talk about being anarchists, or people like Emily Korchinski, who talk about being anarchists when they work for the system, and these are researchers, this and that. Let's just face the facts. If you want to change something, you got to get organized, period. I think that, this is what he's trying to say. But of course, he's still doing it in a very pussified way, because he doesn't want to say the word revolution. He doesn't want to say that. Because, of course, he's going to say it's going to be like Syria, this and that. Oh, people are going to die. This guy's just coping. He's living, and I think that, once again, the right wing in some ways has moved on from that idea of, let's go to Montana and, build our own village and whatnot. Guess what? That's been tried too. And guess what? Partly because they were just so obviously Wignat and so obviously, Nazi, that they decided, what they do? Well, they stopped him from buying that land and stopped him from buying that town. I can't think of his name, and I probably, I know it's on Wiki somewhere, but anyway, it's like, bruh, people have been trying this. This is basically escapism. This is basically Vargism. Dare I say, this is Vargism. Let's go out to the country and live off of, live off of Social Security and live off of, live off the system and help drain the system. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, all right. But, it's just, it's surrender, really. You got to be able to fight in the cities, man. Go ahead.
They're not going to happen, especially not to the level that's going to reach your community. Those community networks are more important than ever. Being active beyond voting. This isn't a once every 4 year or once every 2 year thing. If you want a functioning, free, just society, you have to be involved.
You have to be involved and get arrested by the feds. Exactly. I mean, that's basically what you're saying. You have to be involved and get arrested by feds. Because once again, if you think that, once again, I mean, it's so fun to me how everybody's pissing their pants over the fact, oh, well, the Gestapo is arresting people and bringing people in. What's it going to be like when the feds, I've said this before, but I will repeat it again. When the feds finally take off the kid gloves, when they take off the kid gloves and they decide to just go full on, rounding people up, you ain't seen nothing yet. And this is not me defending the feds. I know people are going to be like, oh, but if you think, whatever has happened to Wignats to a point and, getting arrested and all that, that's nothing compared to what's going to happen to you guys, man. Trying to start some, dual power structure. Yeah. Go ahead. Finish this shit up and we'll wrap this up.
There's no cavalry coming.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but guess what? The cavalry may be arrested by the feds. And you can go ahead and cope all day and say, well, we're going to have a separate system.
We have to make the changes. Anyway.
Yeah. We, meaning not you, because you have your own family, your wife being a nurse and all this type of shit, and your ass is probably at home not doing anything, because obviously the thing is that you can't really wear a mask and have a big fucking beard like that, because guess what? You're not going to have a good seal on your face, idiot. But that's just me coping. I'm sorry. That's just me lashing out. I'm sorry, Dr. Therapist. I'm lashing out. But it's ridiculous. Okay.
It's just a thought. Y'all have a good
night. So there we go, folks. There we go. So that's where this guy sits. The utter cope of what was said is absolutely ridiculous. And it's pitiful. This sort of attitude. It really is. I don't think I have anything else to say. Like I say, I tried to make all my points known. And like I say, once again, I'm going to download this. I'll probably put it out later. I mean, I got 6 days, I think, left. I mean, it's kind of like being on lock. I mean, being locked up for a little bit. But it's like, I got some creative juices going a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty mediocre, to be honest with you. I know, but I did put out some content. I did produce some content anyway. So I'll try to put that out piecemeal. To try to be careful here. Like I say, the first one, the first strike goes off, I think. I think it's October 4th, I think. And the next one is like November 6th or something like that. So, like I say, once I'll upload, maybe I'll record some of those Jewish Avengers videos in between me doing live streams. But I'll probably upload some of those Jewish Avengers, which shouldn't be that bad. And then I'll put out some of the other videos after October. So with that, I'll say in the future here, from about a week later, I hope y'all have a good day and see you later. Goodbye.